Hello, it's Spirit Cocktails. I'm your host, Pierre. Today we're making a cocktail which is extremely simple and it's flavorful. It's called the French Connection. The concept behind this is the same as a Godfather or a Godmother because you have two main ingredients. That's it. There's two ingredients. This time, instead of using a Scotch in the Godfather, we're using a Cognac, which is French from the Cognac region, so it's called the French Connection, and with the Amaretto. So you have this one makes it a French Connection. You have the vodka, it's a Godmother. You put the Scotch, it's a Godfather. But I'm curious, what happens if you add rum? What's that make it? Or tequila? What does that make it? Or gin? What's that make it? That's three main spirits and the same basic concept. Because if you're taking the same recipe, your primary spirit and your Amaretto, that's it. And you're getting three different names: Godmother, Godfather, and the French Connection. What would those other ones be? For gin, be, I don't know, what, the Distinguished Gentleman? Or tequila, maybe the, I don't know, sombrero guy? However you want to call it. But basically, I'm curious if you ever guys know of recipes that use just those ingredients. What the heck is it called? Because I'm curious. Because these are interesting. There's so many different balances of flavors. But if you ever had cognac, it's a kind of like brandies. It is a brandy basically, because cognac is brandy only in the cognac region because they're the only ones that can call it cognac. But since the fact that brandies are grape based or other type of fruit based like that, you got a lot more of the actual grape flavor than you do like standard like whiskey or bourbon. Even though they're kind of brewed very similar in the aspect, because it's aged, hence a lot of dark colors to it. The fact that it's grape flavored, you're going to get a lot of that tart bite of the grape, because it's kind of like a wine type notes. But you're taking that very tart spirit, adding a very sweet liqueur, it's going to definitely change that whole flavor aspect to it. So I'm kind of curious to see how this one tastes. It's basically 1 part to 1 part. So you can do like an ounce and ounce, just make a simple cocktail. Figure put in a rocks glass, get a little, I think it's probably like a 4-ounce rocks glass. So see how this comes out. I'm definitely curious to see how it is. I'll show you how it's made. So what I do is take an ounce. Damn, it's been a while since I opened this. Of your cognac. Ounce Amaretto. You want to give it a slight stir just to help bring it all together. And that's it. That's all there is to it. This is actually a pretty short video because anytime I make these 2-ingredient recipes, it's not a long video. The description of the cocktail is the only thing that takes the most out of it. But as I said, if you ever had the Godfather, it has a lot of that smoky notes to it that you get from the Scotch. And then the sweet, nutty Amaretto notes. So this, I'm going to assume, is going to have a lot of that tart, still grape flavor with the nutty almond notes. See how it tastes. Very good, actually. And it says it's a simple cocktail. There's not much to it. It's 2 ingredients with a little stir. Finished. But you're getting a lot of the notes from the cognac. That's one thing about these cocktails. You know, you're adding extremely sweet liqueur to it. It's not taking away from the primary spirit. It's kind of accenting the flavor, I guess you could say, because it's taking the smoky notes and it's add that nutty kind of a roasted flavor, so it kind of adds in pretty well in the concept. And I am curious to see how I don't even know if it really is a cocktail, but if it is, I definitely like to know the name. I'm curious to see how these will taste in a gin, a rum, or a tequila in the same recipe where tequila, amaretto, gin, amaretto, and rum amaretto. Because I'm curious to see how they taste, because I like the rum flavors, I like the gin, and I like tequila. And I like brandy and cognac. So it's definitely something that's interesting. It's a lot of flavor. It's sweet. It's not overly sweet, which is good, because that cognac does bring down a lot of that sweetness because it's a little bit higher. It's about 80 proof compared to, I think it's about 21, 25 at most, if even. Yeah, 50 proof, so 25% alcohol. So definitely has a little bit of potency to it from that, and then you're getting a little bit with that. It's knocked down, but it has so much sugar, so it bounces out pretty well. So it's definitely worth trying out. If you guys tried it before, let me know what you think. If you ever put together the other ones, like your rum and amaretto and all that, let me know what you think. If you know a name for it, definitely comment below, because I'm really curious, and I want to actually make them maybe on the show to see how it tastes. But be sure to like us on Facebook, Spirit Cocktails, subscribe to our channel. But as always, drink responsibly.